these problems, it's going to be a lot to teach you, and we're basically are kind of putting ourselves in a position to teach you the software entirely from scratch when, you know, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to learn the software. It takes a while to teach it as well, and people may not always have the time. That's all. It's not that people don't want to do it, but it's just, you know, it takes a long time if we have to tell you absolutely everything step by step. So I do recommend that you do practice a little bit of your research skills, because they're very valuable, like extremely valuable. Okay? That's my suggestion. That's all. Yeah, sometimes on Google it's so much faster to find a solution than asking people to troubleshoot in front of you. Because on Google as well, people will sometimes show you the problem.
Okay, we're live, are we? Testing. Okay, we're live, are we? Testing.
Wondering if I make
Okay, we're live, are we?
a little bit less muscular,
Why do I have echo?
if it starts to make the arm look a little bit.
Oh, because I had the desktop audio on, I think. Wait. Now, testing. Is that working? Because I'm watching Aventura in the other, in another tab. I think the desktop audio was on. I'm giving this again a basic color to most parts. Does this work if I hear Aventura's audio isn't going into my stream? Is it? I don't know why I didn't have the desktop audio muted. in the audio mixer. I think it's because I captured something last night. Okay. Then I do this in a high resolution, then I go back to the lower one. Okay, let's again, I do this, I always say it, but I do this so I don't have like a flat color as a base. Anyway, I should do the legs as well. Again, it's just some kind of base color, so I won't have a completely flat base, and I want to get rid of a white thingy. Just to have this sort of marbly base. Maybe I can is there it's really weird. Well, I'm not going to. Anyway, if I wanted to flatten it more, I can always use my shading brush. That's it's just so I won't have a completely flat texture here. I'm looking at Aventura and I'm not looking at my chat. There, I should split the screen so I can keep watching him. It's the tail. It's a very low. No symmetry for this. There are parts that are much darker with this. It's not really what I wanted. I don't want something super uniform, that's the whole point, but I also don't want weird splotches anywhere. Then I just blur it out a bit and it becomes a bit of a more interesting sort of color foundation for the poly painting. I'm probably gonna do some furs as I did yesterday on the face. Here there's a bit of a splotchy part. I don't know how much of this is gonna be visible anyway, but for the sake of, I don't want it to be splotchy. I just don't want it to be flat. I haven't checked the quality of the stream again. This is working. Testing. Yes. You never know. What else next? What really needs to be? Maybe I should do the spread wings first. I don't get right now which one is. Is this a color for? I wish I could rename this. Can I? Is there a like a renaming thing of the? Hey, Snoid, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat. I'm kind of half listening to Aventura, half focusing as this. It's a kind of a fantasy character that I'm doing for like a kind of animated thing that I'm trying to do. I've been working on other characters. Not that I can really 3D animate or anything. It's gonna be more like an animatic kind of thingy. Where the hell are the freaking spread wings? This is not it. Yeah, I always wanted to do like my own thing with my own characters, my own story, and I couldn't really animate, and I still cannot, but I can do some kind of sort of rudimentary animatic kind of thing now, and I thought it was finally time to do something of my own with my own characters, my own story. Where The hell are the freaking spread wings? I cannot find them. This is not it. Is it? No, this is before I welded it. Not really, because I'm not really rigging it in 3D. I'm just making some renders. I cannot really do any rigging or animation, so I just sculpt it. I'm gonna do some renders and I'm gonna animate the renders like in 2D. And I'm gonna make some shots maybe in 3D, but I cannot do like real 3D animation. Everybody keeps telling me to get into Blender or this or that, and the one time that I tried it like a long time ago, I didn't really like it. I didn't really get it. And sometime later I tried it again and I couldn't even install it. I couldn't even run it in my laptop. So I'm just working with what I have and the little knowledge I have to do whatever I can. Where the hell are the wings? For God's sake. Oh, this is a fur that I need. That's why I made two versions. I made one with the spread wings and one with the folded wings, because I cannot really rig the wings and fold them around. I have like two different ones. Okay, yeah, that's the membrane. These arms, this is, there we are. Should I? Well, it doesn't matter. This fiber is not gonna be this color. I'm gonna, when I move over to Keyshot, I'm gonna make it a similar sort of brownish color. What I wanted to do here is do a similar. Where are we? A similar. Oh, probably gonna have to subdivide this. A similar sort of fur kind of. I don't know if in this resolution it's gonna look pixelated, but there's the actual fibers on top. I just wanted to paint some kind of hair like the way I did here in the face. Maybe with just a bigger brush, just so it won't look completely flat. I'm not even worrying too much because this character is gonna be like in a cave. It's gonna be dark. Not a lot of detail is gonna be seen, I think. Okay, Snowy. Thank you for dropping by. I'm gonna be on for like one more hour, and then I have to go mod for someone. Well, I don't have to. I want to. It's part of my Sunday routine. But I still wanted to go live for a while. I can always make a little progress. I do some humans, especially like I just did some sort of human character for this project, some sort of sorceress character. I'm not very happy with her because I'm not great for humans. Well, I'm not a pro. I'm not that good at. But for this project, yeah, I've been doing some sort of magic animals that have some like they're basically kind of normal looking animals, but they are sort of giant and they have like crystals coming out of somewhere in their body. I have to make some other human characters, but I've kind of postponed it because I have to redesign one that's kind of important in the story. In the original version she used to be like a fairy, and now I made her more like a human sorceress. And I have to sort of redesign her. Thank you. I don't know, I feel like my style is more of a combination of my limitations and my whatever I can do. Every year I do like a daily challenge in April, and I do a lot of like cartoon characters, video game characters, movie characters, a different one every day. So probably I think that's I haven't posted. Well, I've been posting a few of the recent characters that I've done here in my Insta, but all of the other stuff has been from my daily challenge last year in April. This April I'm probably going to do it again. I don't know if I'm going to stream the whole thing. It's just a daily thing. I 3D sculpt a different character every day. It's generally all just fan art. I do like cartoon characters, video game characters. Almost never original characters because that's like an added difficulty to have to also design something on the fly. Would be too much to do on a single sitting, on a single every day for the month. Yeah, no, it's something I just sort of came up with myself. I did it for the first time in like September of 2015. As I did it as a one-off, and I didn't do it again in 2016. But then I thought of bringing it back on 2017, and I've done it every year in April instead of September like the first time. Around that time there was some people doing something like Sculptember or something, but it was a small group with no specific prompt, and I think they ended up kind of disappearing. I haven't heard from them again. I wasn't really with them either, but yeah, I need some practice with, or well, I'm kind of getting it now with with character design. It's never really been my forte. And now I find myself having to come up with my own characters, and I sort of know what I want to do, but it's been tricky, especially with this kind of animals. I don't want to give them like any weird accessories or any actual human traits or features, but it's difficult to make them, even when I'm making them kind of cartoony, it's difficult to make them more like characters and less like just animals. I am probably more of a gardener. I'm not that organized, or I'm not sure how the metaphor goes, but I think even these characters are I'm kind of winging them. I'm not. I don't really draw, so I don't have like a pre-designed kind of thing. I'm kind of winging them here as I go along. I have an idea of what I wanted to do, but I don't have like a specific design or actual reference that I'm following. Well, in the case of the animals, I do look at some of the real thing, but in general, I've been sort of winging them and finding the design as I go along. I feel like I've been spending a lot of time on this guy. Yeah, pretty much. It's been fun, it's been sort of stimulating, but it's also been kind of a lot at times. I don't know if the whole arm should be sort of furry. I don't... I'm listening to AventuraArts, so I'm not talking because I'm like distracted by him. I kind of want to finish this guy already and move on, but obviously I don't want to half-ass it just for the sake of finishing it. It's bad enough already that my style tends to look like unfinished. I don't know what I would move on to really either, because I have a lot of stuff to do for this project, but what I haven't done yet is any environments, and I don't even know how I'm gonna approach some of them. It's really daunting. Yeah, it's really not my forte either. I feel like every time that I've done some kind of environment, I've ended up doing something like really claustrophobic. I don't know if I don't know what it is. I feel like I want to for everything to be like visible at once, and I tend to cram all this stuff into the same scene. My freaking screen is kind of glitching out. Gonna cheat a little bit with environments because again, it's not like I know like Unreal or anything like I can do that. The normal thing would be to do, because I have to do some forest environments and stuff like that. I'm not gonna do a forest on my own from like from scratch. So I'm probably, since it's a kind of a mixture of 2D and 3D, I'm probably gonna make, for the forest parts, I'm probably going to use even some stock photography, some photographs of my own, some flat things, 2D things that I'm going to perhaps break into layers to make some parallax shots here and there, but I'm probably gonna cheat with that because I don't know how else I could do a forest. I cannot do like a forest. But I have to do some interiors. I have to do like a tower and a place where some sort of altar where the protagonist is going to do like a spell kind of thing, and the protagonist also, his house, he lives in a kind of a in a house carved out of a giant tree. Probably that I'm gonna have to do, at least the interiors, and maybe I can fake the exterior with some photo of some giant tree or something. But I do have to make some of my own props and some of my own thingies here and there. It's not just the characters. Right, Ergol is the first character that I've made on stream. He's the actual protagonist of the thing. Then after Ergol, I've been making some of the sort of magic animals that he's gonna meet on the way, on his sort of day out. He's gonna be like collecting ingredients, as it were, for this sort of spell that he's working on. He's teaming up with this other character that again it was going to be like a fairy, and Ergol was going to be a sort of a troll, some sort of a goblin. But then I changed it and gave them more lore and made the fairy human and made Ergol like a full-sized guy, but they were going to be like tiny little characters in a big forest. I went for fantasy because I love fantasy. I'd like to do other subjects if I make anything. If I ever complete this, I'd like to do other sort of animated thingies in other subjects, in other things. But fantasy is like my first love. And not that I consume a lot of fantasy. I don't even know if there's a lot of fantasy going on right now in media. But I feel like it's more like the stuff that I grew up with. And for some reason felt more natural to me to do that kind of character and to tell that kind of story than going for something super realistic or gritty or something for my first ever thing. No. I always forget to check the freaking time. Right now, but it's still early. So streaming has really, I wanted to work on this for all last year, and I kept postponing it for a variety of reasons, and I actually had the idea in 2022, so I wanted to work on it for all of 2023, but I had already done a lot of research, especially for like references and stuff like that. And I had written the first draft of the screenplay sometime in 2022, and in December of 2022 my laptop's hard drive broke beyond repair and I lost everything. So that was already like a big... I don't really write. Writing would be a very useful tool to have in my belt, but I have some ideas sometimes and I very rarely develop them. I went to film school. I did take 2.5 years of screenwriting, but it doesn't mean that I write. So I've always been kind of a frustrated filmmaker, because obviously live action takes an army of people and a lot of money. Animation was never something I could really do. So now I'm finally can do this little thingy. Hopefully I can do something. So I'm really going for it, but again, I had all those sort of setbacks, and it was really discouraging. I don't know if that works. How much do we really see of the surface of the body with the fibers on and everything? I really should hone the writing thing. It's something that I sort of enjoy doing when I finally sit down and do it, but I always felt I'm terrible with that. The same way. I feel the same way about writing as I do about drawing. I feel like I'm simply not necessarily good at it. It's like a useful tool, obviously, but I feel like my drawing and my writing per se have sort of no value, which is a stupid mindset. Obviously, it would be a great skill to hone if I intend now to tell some stories. But since before I couldn't really do anything, I wasn't going to film anything, I wasn't going to animate anything, I felt like it was pointless to write. And it would have been a great exercise. It would have been a great muscle to flex that you need to train. But I never did, because I felt like it was pointless, like it was gonna go nowhere. That's a terrible, stupid mindset. It would be a great tool to have in my belt. But again, I've never felt too comfortable with just writing. What am I gonna write something for? Nobody's gonna read it, nothing's gonna happen with it if I cannot film it, or if I cannot animate it. And writing fiction for the sake of fiction, yeah, I always felt like it's not gonna be good enough, it's not gonna be satisfying enough, who's gonna read it? I do have this sort of vampire characters that I'm probably, if I ever tell that story, I'm gonna tell it in writing, because I might animate or make some kind of animatic of some key scenes maybe, but the whole story I'm probably never gonna be able to tell it that way, because it's really long, it requires a lot of characters. Yeah, but they all have their own specific things that you just have to practice, or at least for me, this is already a story that I feel like it sounds better on the page than what it's gonna be on the screen. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of an episodic kind of thing that's going to feel a bit repetitive, a bit too dialogue heavy, a bit too... I don't know, I'm kind of indulging myself a little bit, because it's like the one time that I can do something and that I can learn a lot of things in the process. So I am kind of being self-indulgent. What am I... And I know better. I know that I'm sort of breaking rules and taboos in storytelling, and I don't want to do everything by the numbers anyway, either. I don't want to be that square, but ow. My screen's flickering again. I don't know if that's happening on the stream, or if it's just a local thing. looks like the stream is fine. Okay. Yeah, I've always done like my own thingy, because yeah, it's not like I'm gonna get like commissioned or anything, but I've never really tried to go that route. But this is really the first time that I tried before and I never really got anywhere. I had like many years ago an idea for an animated thing, and I started doing some models, but again I couldn't really animate. My story is sort of mutated into something that is not necessarily what I set out to do first. Or I discovered that it was too much like something else that already existed, kind of. So I felt like it didn't have an identity of its own, and I couldn't even really make it happen. Back in the day, I couldn't really animate. I still cannot, but I can try something now. Should I do this in a higher resolution? I don't want for everything to be super high resolution. Yeah, no, I know, but I feel like it. At that point, I felt like the story had sort of mutated into some sort of weird hybrid that I was sort of frustrated by that, and also the fact that I didn't really know how to make it happen. It was kind of ambitious at the time. This is ambitious too, but I'd like to maybe resume that project someday. Because I felt like I had something, but again, it got to a weird stage of and probably I should do something simpler before. I have been doing like, well, I haven't in a while, but I had been doing like some little tests with some of my old characters, some of my old sculpts and some of my old renders. I did some project last year, but for my first original thing I want to do this that's kind of ambitious. It's weird to set out to try to do like your freaking magnum opus as your first thing ever, but I feel like if I keep waiting I'm never gonna make it happen. If I keep waiting for the right time, the right thing, the right everything. I've already been doing that all my life, I feel like. Yeah, no, it's true. The someday, yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. But yeah, right now I'm working on this. Maybe in the future I will go back to that project because I had some things that I liked. Maybe I should bring it back in track to what I always wanted it to be. yeah, everything is reboots and sequels and remakes and I want for this to have a sort of painterly quality to it. That's why I'm doing this kind of hair that's literally painted on, kind of connecting with the actual fibers. Or kind of transitioning from the fibers part to... I don't know how much of this is even gonna be visible. Again, this guy's gonna be in like in a dim cave. Ooh. Again, I don't know. When I finish this guy, hopefully tomorrow, possibly, because tomorrow, right, Monday I have the full 4 hours, so I might finish him tomorrow. I don't really know what I'm gonna move on to. I might work on his actual cave to kind of keep working on the, to do for once an environment and to kind of stay in the same neighborhood. Alright, yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out, for checking out this. I feel like it's been such a great thing discovering Aventura and his community. I've never found the actual professional sort of 3D sculptors or the more experienced people, the actually talented people. I've never found them very friendly. They've never been very nice to me. You guys are really different. Yeah, I guess I've been jaded by my experiences in other places, and I haven't even paid too much attention to what's going on here on Twitch. I don't know what to do with the eyes. I feel like they should be beady, milky, sort of bacon looking, but I don't know if something that I should try to paint or it's something that I should try to do on directly on Keyshot somehow. No, this probably. Well, maybe this. I wanted something like bluish, not too saturated, kind of dark. Not like that, no, with the hair texture, but maybe? No, that's not it. And then maybe just some shading of a much lighter blue, kind of in the edge. That but softer. I don't know how to make them look kind of milky and empty to sort of suggest that he's actually blind. Maybe just making them shiny on actual key shot will convey that. Darker here in the center would do it. I'm not really sure. There's so much work to do, but I'm not really sure of what to do now that I only have half an hour left to stream. I don't know. It makes sense to try to do the hair thing here, probably in a higher resolution. I don't want to make everything so high res. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Probably I should check it out on Keyshot already to see how it translates over there. don't know if this works. I don't know if I should do like actual hair in between and all over the body, but so I don't know how visible any of this is gonna be. I don't know if this is maybe either too much or too subtle or something again. I probably should give it a try. I should take it to key shot to see how it's gonna look over there. This is such a weird thing. I've never done really anything quite like this. I've done some monster characters and whatever. I've done like dragons and characters with dragon wings, but not quite a bat. Not quite like a real animal. Again, I'm not going for realism with this. It's a giant bat that speaks and has crystals protruding out of the back, but there's still some kind of difficulty to this. What's the time? Okay, I have like 20 more minutes. Snoid, are you still there? Wasnas was asking about you over at AventuraArts stream. I almost didn't stream today. Because again, it was going to be a short one, and I felt like, well, I'm not gonna do much. I'm really tired. I haven't been sleeping well. I'm glad I came. I've made some progress. I don't want to get into that mindset of, oh, not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe I'm gonna end up quitting if I keep doing that, or if I start doing that. I think I've never missed a day when I could actually stream. Because when I can't, I can't. But when I have like some time, even if it's just an hour and a half, I will go live. It used to be easier in the beginning because the days that I didn't have much time, I could do some gaming and that was it. But I've kind of suspended the gaming for now because I kept having like audio problems. And the game audio would either go to the stream or to my earphones. So I'd have to play either deaf or simply the game audio wouldn't go to the stream, which people already who's gonna watch a silent stream pretty much with just commentary. The priority is obviously the stream. But it's also hard for me to play some things without being able to react to the audio cues. The games that I played were games that I knew like well enough. Because for some reason when I routed my microphone audio to the stream and out of my ears, so I didn't have to hear myself, the quality lowered a lot. I don't even know why. So I sounded like I was in an old-timey telephone or something. A bad radio quality. I don't know if this is much better, but it is better. I don't know if any of that is gonna show under the fur. That's why I'm not sure if I should do the entire body. Maybe I should do just sort of joints in the areas where. Yeah, I think it's probably a waste to do a lot more than that. Maybe I should even blur it out a little bit in this surrounding areas for it to sort of transition into the flatter parts better. Here. Again, I don't know if much of this is going to be visible, but there's a little bit of a gap here between the torso and the limbs. So maybe I should do some sort of hair transition kind of thing. size brush I used for this. What's the time? Oh, 9 minutes to go. Alright, I have to do the inside of a mouth. Can I do this now? How much time do I have? How do I flip? Some weird. I don't know if I'm gonna have to mask this out to sort of paint the palette. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna bleed to the outside. What am I even doing? Okay, if the shading brush in a higher intensity, you can sound like. Okay, that's a bit too saturated. That's too hot pinky. Is it bleeding to the outside? No. Not for now, at least. Again, I don't even know how much of an inside of a mouth we're gonna see, but I always do this. I made it, again, since I cannot really rig it in 3D and post it and animate it, I've done it like as if it were a puppet. That's why the jaw is like literally very much of a puppet jaw that will just bat up and down. Okay, it's almost 3 for me, so it's kind of time to end, but I at least want to give this dark pink base to the palette. Is it really not bleeding through to the outside? I'd probably give it some highlights and shadows too, but right now I just wanted to give it that base and the same shade for the jaw. Am I gonna have to mask this, or it's gonna work? So I don't really want to have to waste a lot of time right now on any of this. Did I blur out more than I should have? Here, there's gonna be the tongue on top, and the gums are like separate. So I'm not worrying about any of that. Is it bleeding to the outside? Doesn't look like it. I don't know, some of that pink probably should try to mask here. Where's it called in auto masking? Blackface mostly. I'm gonna mask this out so this sort of dark pink won't bleed through to this side. Oh. Probably with a smaller size mask. It won't clip to the other side. What happened to Aventura if he suddenly went quite low? I was just listening in. Okay, just 2 more minutes, roughly. And I'm going over. Ooh, I'm doing this with brown. I should do it with pink. It's so similar, I didn't even notice. Again, probably I'd give it some kind of detail, but it cannot really be now because I'm running out of time for today. Just wanted to give this some kind of base, the same base for the palette and the jaw. And it's almost time for me to go. I should check Discord in case there are some news. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna have to fake the translucent effect. I'm going to have to sort of paint it on. This is capturing so weird. I feel like it's looking a lot better in my screen. It's capturing a lot darker and more contrasty in OBS. I wish I could make the fibers dark now. They look completely wrong. Anyway, it's freaking 3. I should I don't know if Phil is going live now or later. He hasn't announced anything. What? I went to the thing. I opened my own stream. Here the hair could go higher. I guess fur, the fluff hair. To really transition into the body part. Is this the highest resolution I have for this? Why am I doing this in a kind of low one when I'm doing everything else in a much higher one? Oh. Is Phil live? Okay, I should start wrapping up already. Because Phil is live. Anyway, now that Phil started, I should end the stream. And I'm not gonna rate him because it gets weird. I kind of watch Aventura mod Phil and stream at the same time, so I'm gonna have to end the stream. Here. Okay, I'm paying too much attention to Twitch and Discord and everything, and I'm neglecting this. Let's screenshot. Let's already finish the. I'm not saving any. Why I'm not saving any of this? Okay, well, I'm saving this, and I'm ending the stream. We're going over to Bill. Nearly gave him a shout out. His own stream. We're going over to Phil. I'm not really rating him because it gets weird. Again, hopefully tomorrow we'll get to finish this guy. I'm gonna give this like a base color. This is obviously not what it's gonna look like. I don't know if this is too light. I have to pay attention to one thing at a time. We redeemed something at Phil's. This is not necessarily what I was going for, but I kinda like it as a base color again. Let's do something similar on the folded wings. dark first to get rid of the white, mostly. The white base is really unbecoming. Then the lighter color. Okay, well let's end this freaking thing. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Snoit, if you're still around. I should be back tomorrow for a full 4-hour stream, and hopefully to finally finish this guy. Thank you, Aventura, if you're lurking. You're probably not hearing, but I think you were in chat before. In any case, yeah, there you are. In any case, thank you for all the support, for everything. I, again, should be back tomorrow. Now we're going over to Phil Jameson. He's gonna be playing some Slay the Spire today. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking end this. See you tomorrow.